The life insurance game can be really hard sometimes, actually all the time. But I'm going to show you how to make it just a little bit easier on yourself and really get you to that next level. So when it comes to running appointments, a lot of places, they call it smiling and dialing, and you just buy leads and go to work. That's it. They say if you just buy leads and go to work, you'll be successful. Well, I can tell you this, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Right? You can say, hey, I'm gonna write 300,000 this year and just buy leads and start dialing. But if you don't know how to work the system backwards and how many leads you need to buy to get to that 300,000, how many appointments you need to set, how many people you need to talk to, what your average premium needs to be, you need to take all those things into consideration. But I'm going to show you how to do this a little bit easier, rather than just showing up, sitting at your desk in the morning and just hoping for a win, hoping somebody buys. I hate to live like that. If we show up in the morning and we have no appointments, ruins my day. We do not do that. So first thing you want to do is book appointments, and I'm going to show you kind of how our strategy works when we do that. So we have a goal to write $20,000 a week. So we know how many leads we need to produce, how many people we need to talk to, and so forth to reach 20,000 a week. Does it always happen? No. Sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 15, sometimes it's 25. Every week's a little bit different, but we set our goal at 20,000 a week. So we're running 20 plus appointments per day. That's the first big goal right there, is figure out how to get to 20 appointments a day. And I'm going to show you kind of how we do that. But I know a lot of agents out there are trying to, work 20 or 30 leads a week, or, run 20 appointments a week. And does it work? Yes, but it's not going to get you to that next level and maximize your efficiency. So you want to make sure that your day is scheduled out to where you have calls to be on all day long of people that are looking for what you have. So we generate our own leads, so that helps a lot. We help truck drivers all over the country. We're licensed in 46 states. So when I say we're booking 20 appointments a day, what that means is when we show up in the morning, there's 20 appointments on the books. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. And the reason for that is because, like I said, we run our own ads. So essentially we're lead gen, right? So we're generating our own leads, and some of those folks will book appointments straight from the ad. So in our ad, there's a link to book an appointment now. Like last night, we had 3 or 4 pre-booked, during the night. So sometimes you wake up in the morning, you have more appointments, and we kind of expect that, to get 2, 3, 4 appointments every night, and just try to set ourselves up to win every single day with 20 appointments a day. So when I say 20 appointments a day, these are not all brand new, fresh lead appointments. So if we run 20 appointments a day, I figure everything up on halves, 50%. So if we're running 20 appointments a day, and then tomorrow to get another 20 appointments, it's going to be a little bit different. So Monday we show up, we have 20 appointments. We're only going to talk to about 10 of those people. Four or 5 of those are going to reschedule. We're talking about truck drivers here, so they book an appointment, they're not 100% sure where they're going to be. They could be loading, they could be unloading at the appointment time, they could have got pulled over by DOT, they could be getting fuel. So sometimes we have to work around their schedules. But the beauty of it is truck drivers are always on the road. So they have a lot of time where they can just turn on their headset and we can talk. That's the beauty of working with truck drivers. They have all the time in the world to talk as long as they're not out of the truck. So out of 20, 4 or 5 of them are going to be out of the truck. And we're going to have to reschedule with those people, maybe catch up to them later in the day or tomorrow, the next day. And then 2 or 3 of them, they're just not going to answer. And we put those in another pile, and we start calling those. All the people that we didn't reach at the end of the day, we get those rescheduled. So if we have 4 or 5 that rescheduled for tomorrow, that's 4 or 5 appointments for tomorrow. And then if we have 2 or 3 that didn't answer for whatever reason, we just never got them on the phone, right before we leave for the day, we spend about an hour or 2 booking our day up for tomorrow. So the 2 or 3 or 4 that you didn't get a hold of, those people are going to get called again, and we're going to try to get them rescheduled. So let's say we reschedule these 4, and then 3 of the ones that we didn't talk to, they rescheduled as well. So that's 7. So out of fresh leads, we only need to book about 13. And then a couple will come in over the night. So that's really our strategy to run 20 appointments a day. A lot of people think, gosh, I must be buying a ton of leads to get 20 fresh appointments a day. They're not fresh. So the thing is, like I said, if you talk to 10 people and you do 10 presentations, not everybody's going to have their info, especially if they're drivers, right? So we have a folder that we call the follow-up folder. What this follow-up folder is these people that we talked to. When we talk to them, they're drivers. Sometimes they don't have access to their account, right? Their account information, account routing, and maybe their wife has it. Maybe they have a checkbook. Some of them still have a checkbook and it's in the bunk. They gotta wait till they pull over. Some maybe just BSing you. You don't know. But a couple of people that you talk to every day, you get the application going and they don't have their account and routing number. So those go in the follow-up folder. Sometimes we can get to them that day when they get out of the truck that evening. They can get us the account and routing number. They can call their wife. Sometimes we can get them on a 3-way with their wife and get it all done right there. Some of them have their own information. Some of them have a banking app. They just don't know how to use it. Little trick we learned is you can look up the banking app on YouTube, and it's usually about a 30-second to a 1-minute video showing you how to find the account number on your banking app. And that helps us out sometimes get these deals closed. But we always have a folder of these follow-ups, people that ghosted us, or maybe we just need to follow up with them that day or next week. I mean, we're constantly, calling through this folder right here because this is where the gold is at. That's where the money's at because all the work is done. We just need a signature, a final signature, or we need an account routing number. That's it. So we're calling these people constantly. Sometimes it's the next day. Sometimes it's the next week. Sometimes they just kind of ghost us, and we'll catch them a month later, and we'll get it, finished up. So we work our follow-up folder like crazy. And so in between, we're running all these appointments and you have no-shows. That's when we start calling the follow-up folder. Try to get those people back on the books. Try to get them back on the calendar. And then also, if we have a gap, let's say we're running 20 appointments, we have a bad day, and people just aren't answering. Some days you have days like that. People just ain't picking up the phone. We have an assistant in our office, and what she'll do is she'll start dialing fresh leads and get us a live transfer, somebody that we can try to one-call close or at least get a presentation done and get most of the way through it. So booking appointments, I think, is the biggest thing that people really aren't doing and probably don't understand because they've been taught that you need to one-call close people. The chances of you getting them back on the phone is very slim. That's not the case. I mean, I know this is truck drivers and this is different, but I was doing this same thing when I was doing final expense face-to-face. I was not going to drive 2 or 3 hours and run appointments all day without having, a plan. I didn't want to just take a lead and knock on a door and say, hey, I'm here. No, I want to make sure, and it looks professional. When you book an appointment, you get somebody's info and they know who you are and who's coming. That helps tremendously. So if you want to write 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 a year, you just got to figure out what this number is right here. We have found out that running 30 to 35 appointments a day is rather much for us. We've done it a short period of time just to kind of see what our limit was, and 30 to 35 appointments is a lot. It's an all-day deal. And it's a grind. So 20 is kind of our comfort zone. That's where we like it to be. And we know out of 20 appointments a day, we can write, like I said, 10 to 20,000 a week, somewhere in there, on roughly about $1,800 in ad spend. So we spend $1,500 to $1,800 a week in ad spend, and right in between 10 and 20K in premium every single week. And we've taught all of our agents to do this, and everybody's on board with our truck driver leads. And just this year alone, I mean, we've written over $3 million in premium with roughly about 20 agents. So it does work, and I hope this helps somebody.